Hey, uh, I totally forgot to change my stream description. I knew I forgot something because I am a professional streamer. Yeah. Welcome one, welcome all to an old game, a really old game. Came out in 1998. That's what, like 22, 23 years, 23, 24 years now. Um, and it's a game I actually played as a kid, all the way back. It's a German game, I believe. Originally German, but I have the English version now. Um, The Settlers 3. Very, very old school management game. Um, there's also, uh, of course, if there's Settlers 3, there's also 1 and 2. 1 is basically impossible to get now. And 2, I own Settlers 2, but Settlers 2 is very slow paced, very, very finicky, and not necessarily interesting. So I decided also, for maximum nostalgia factor for myself, to start or to go with Settlers 3. So let me switch over. Let me check if the game capture, it is an old game, even though I bought it through GOG, who managed to make the game work in Windows 10, which is a miracle. um it is still kind of finicky. It doesn't have a windowed mode. I have to run it through a different program to get it into a window so that I can, like, that I'm not locked into the game, that I can handle OBS and that. And it's a little bit finicky. I have to see that the capture works. I did set it up in the beginning, but I will have to see if if it actually works how I want. And I hope it doesn't crash. It did crash on me when I was testing it earlier. Mm, but again, I'm hoping, I think I know what went wrong. So I'm hoping that's not going to happen. Um right, let me switch the scene there. And so this is a very old game, very, very limited in its functionality in terms of menus and such. So um as soon as I start the game, the intro video plays. And the intro video explains the plot, kind of, what whatever excuse for plot it is. It's a flimsy plot. This is a management game, and the idea is just you go from map to map and manage a town, build and manage a town, and eventually start fighting other people. And yeah, and the plot is just an excuse, but it's a funny plot ish maybe, and it's old. It's very old. So attitudes were a bit unfortunate back then. But let's see. So I will start this up and hope that the hey, let me make sure that I don't have any doubles and so that the game doesn't double on itself such. Okay. Right. All right, let's fingers crossed. Let's hope this game will run without crashing all over the place. Check. Good.
In ages past, when the Pantheon was still home to countless gods from all empires, there stood a temple consecrated to the unknown god, creator of all gods. This temple was held in highest esteem.
5 letters. Attractive.
Me!
Not enough letters. Or brains.
Horus! You're just...
Yes, Jupiter?
Horus, how about a little flood, huh? Just for fun.
The letter has to be a
A
T.
flood?
Yeah, let the Mediterranean Sea run over like the good old days.
I'm sorry, Jupiter, but I can't have salt water damaging my pyramids. Besides, who will offer us wine if we drown them all?
And sacrifice oxen.
Us ambrosia.
And nectar.
Don't forget the lamb.
And the honeymoon, the doggy
I
milk.
love lambs.
Hello to Jupiter, who once filled the skies with storms of thunder. The winds you unleash these days seem less divine. And to Horus, lord of the Egyptian sun, who inspires his people to build piles of rock. Soon they will realize your falcon's head harbors a sparrow's brain. And to Chiyu, once the terror of all China. You may still evoke terror, Chiyu, but I cannot detect it over the laughter compelled by your bloated form. I have come to tell you this. He summons you now.
This is me.
Kunkura.
Piles of rock.
She's disgusting.
She
and
called
so
my sacred
superior.
pyramids piles of rock.
We're here.
Still bragging about your piles of rock, Horus?
Well, they're not as easy to make.
And you,
as
Jupiter?
they-
You grow fatter every time I see you. Chiyu, tell me of your recent reigns of terror.
Well, there were 3 donkeys, which I devoured in one bite.
Frauds! For eons you think only of pleasure, and now even the lowliest men say, these drunks don't do anything for us. Let's go over their heads to the boss. Do you know what that means? Monotheism. There aren't enough hours in the day for me to see to every detail. I command each of you to pick one who is the best of your people, and from him create a new people. You will wage these peoples against each other until one rules all. The victor shall escape punishment.
Punishment?
Everyone works harder when there's a downside to existence. Any objections?
No. And the punishment is...
Repainting the universe a beautiful shade of white. I think it's about time again, don't you? And Jupiter,
Yes, Master?
you're going on a diet. Konkura will supervise.
These 3 crates into the lead ship. And hurry up now, there's a squall brewing. Perfect. Don't move. They will be in awe of my work for millenniums.
Chiyu, the dragon! Hide the children! I await you, Chiyu.
All right. That good old 640 by 480 resolution on the video. And a very flimsy excuse plot. Personally, I prefer the German version of this video. The voice acting is more fitting, I believe, and they saved on the translation by having the English voice actors not voice as many lines as there are in the German version. There are actually a handful of minor, inconsequential lines missing in this version, right? That were edited out so that the I suppose that the English voice actors didn't have to say as many lines, possibly. But oh well, it works. It tells the story. It does its thing. All right. So there are a lot of things here. There's the tutorial. There's campaign. Mission CD is additional missions in the game. The Amazon is, so this is the first expansion, Amazon, or unofficial expansion. Amazon was the big expansion which added a fourth culture, right? The Amazons with their own campaign. I'm not quite sure what this is. Oh. All right, this changes the difficulty setting of see, the menu is extremely limited. This changes the difficulty setting of the campaign. Okay. And I basically I still know the game, I think. So let's just jump right into the campaign, and you can choose a race. Again, so old. Kind of unfortunate missteps here and there. So you have the Egyptians, right? Rhadamses. You have Septimus Marius from the Romans, and you have Zutang from the appropriately generic Asians instead of, I don't know, the Chinese. Even though it very clearly states, yeah, no, the it's like it's Chinese. They even use China in the opening video, but again, this is one of those unfortunate moments of, yeah, this was the world 25 years ago. And these are the three difficulties. So the Romans are the easy ones, that this is to get you into the game. The Asians are the medium, and Egyptians are hard. And the people, the three peoples also play kind of, so the Romans are the balanced ones. It's mainly resources. The Romans are the balanced ones. The Asians need a lot of more wood than stone, which is slightly easier to get access to because you can regrow trees and such, but it's more difficult to start off because you need to build up a wood economy before you can have enough resources flowing in. And then the Egyptians require more stone than wood, which is easier to get a head start because stone, you just build a stonecutter's hut, done. You don't need a lot of buildings for a wood economy. But it's difficult because at some point you can run out of stone. You will never run out of wood effectively, but can run out of stone, and at that point the Egyptians are more screwed than the other two, right? And the Romans are the balanced ones. There's a couple of other differences between these three. How their priests work, how some of their, mainly their mining, how their heavy industry works. But the biggest difference is really how they use the main two resources, wood and stone. So let's start with the Romans. This merchant Septimus Marius, and the story is now told from his perspective. Right, so let's see. Let's hope.
Updated my journal.
Oh hey, Bigfoot! Hi, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the guild. Hope you join us for many adventures. How are you doing? How are you doing? Glad to see you drop by. Howdy doody indeed. How are you? So yeah, I was just saying this is we're playing a really old game. This came out in 1998. The original. And I played this as a kid. And now I am revisiting it. And I'm good. A little bit tired because of bad sleeping schedule, I guess, but I'm excited to dive into this game. I haven't touched this in ages. I intentionally did not play this game, just so I could go in as fresh as possible for the stream. And yeah, excited to see. So this game is essentially you just play the campaign or the 3 campaigns and then the more stuff later on. And yeah, it's old school. It says RTS. It's more a management game than an RTS.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was captain of a trader plying the seas, and that's all I ever wanted to be. I was free. I saw distant lands others only heard tale of. I was happy. No, thanks to Jupiter, I'm a ruler bound to duty in a foreign world. That it is unknown is of no consequence. The unknown I'm accustomed to. But I'm expected to rule here, to wage war, and to win. For Jupiter, greater glory. For me, only a test. And at the end, only freedom or ruin, like every voyage upon the sea. I do not know if I will be an able commander, but hope will be my anchor. If Hannibal, nightmare of ancient Rome and paragon of strategists, can spring upon the world from a family of traders, so can I. Indeed, my empire this day is no greater than many a ship that sailed under my command.
Right. So the basic gist of the story is all the old gods, like the gods of the ancient world, became lazy and were just partying and drinking all the time. And so the god, like the Abrahamic monotheist god, is pissed at them and said, yo, you guys are useless and people will start worshipping me directly and I don't have time to deal with that. So you guys better shape up. And so the 3 gods are Jupiter for the Romans, Horus for the Egyptians, and some made up dragon Chi Yu for the Chinese. Right? They couldn't even get an actual whatever. So yeah, and now they each kidnapped one person from their civilization. For the Romans, it's this Septimus Marius dude. And these people now have to build a new civilization and wage war on each other because, yeah, humans are just the playthings of gods. Yes, so the first missions are easy, right? They're just to get you used to the game. So a rebellion has sprung in the northwest. Small band of my countrymen have established a foothold there. Fortunately, they control the only gold resources, S, on the island. This rebel colony goes unchallenged. They may become too powerful to contend with. I don't know where we will start. It doesn't tell. So this game is very old. You will be able to tell that it doesn't have a lot of the quality of life things that we're used to nowadays. And it's just conquer the island. So you just destroy the rebellion, done. Your opponents are very aggressive. Don't let their early attacks upset you. If you concentrate on recruiting soldiers in the beginning, the attacks will quickly cease. Try to expand your territory quickly so that your opponent's room for colonizing is cramped. Alright, let's see if I still know this. Okay. We start by getting a... Oh, okay, the scroll speed is very high. I'll need to adjust that at some point. Build a watchtower there to get access to the stone. Is the game too loud or too quiet, or so is it okay? Do please let me know. Build a woodcutter here. Build a stonemason here. Build a... Music is a bit loud. Okay, you know what? I cannot change any settings of the game.
I don't know what happened.
In the game itself. which is really stupid. So I will have to exit the game. Again, this game is very old. And I will have to open up the configuration tool to change the settings. The scroll speed. I want the scroll speed way down. That was way dots scrolling startup. Okay, so I don't see how I can change the music volume, sadly. So I would have to turn down the game overall. Yeah, I know, the days when audio settings didn't exist. I'm just glad this. I think this game is even like not the GOG version, obviously, but the original was one of those where you had to select your sound card if the sound didn't work. So that's just old. If you want, we can watch the intro video again.
When the Pantheon was still home to
Kinda
countless
nostalgic.
gods from all empires, there stood a temple consecrated to the unknown god, creator of all gods. This temple was held in highest esteem.
5 letters. Attractive. Not enough letters. Or brains.
Horus!
Yes, Jupiter?
Horus, how about a little flood, huh? Just for fun.
Letter has to be a T.
A flood?
Yeah, let the Mediterranean Sea run over like the good old days.
I'm sorry, Jupiter, but I can't have salt water damaging my pyramids. Besides, who will offer us wine if we drown them all?
And sacrifice oxen.
Offer us ambrosia.
And nectar.
Don't forget the lamb.
And the honeymoon, the donkey milk.
Donkey milk.
Hello to Jupiter, who once filled the skies with storms of thunder. The winds you unleash these days seem less divine. And to Horus, lord of the Egyptian sun, who inspires his people to build piles of rock. Soon they will realize your falcon's head harbors a sparrow's brain. And to Chiyu, once the terror of all China. You may still evoke terror, Chiyu, but I cannot detect it over the laughter compelled by your bloated form. I have come to tell you this. He summons you now.
This is me.
Kunkura.
Piles of rock.
Pixeliness.
Disgusting.
She
And
called
so
my
Pure nostalgia.
piles of rock.
We're here.
Still bragging about your piles of rock, Horus?
Well, they're not as easy to make.
And you,
as
Jupiter,
they...
you grow fatter every time I see you. Chiyu, tell me of your recent reigns of terror.
Well, there were 3 donkeys, which I devoured in one bite.
Frauds! For eons you think only of pleasure, and now even the lowliest men say, these drunks don't do anything
Yeah.
for us. Let's go over their heads to the boss. Do you know what that means?
There is.
Monotheism. There aren't enough hours in the day for me to see to every detail. I command each of you to pick one who is the best of your people, and from him create a new people. You will wage these peoples against each other, until one rules all. The victor shall escape punishment.
Punishment?
Everyone works harder when there's a downside to existence. Any objections?
No. And the punishment is?
Repainting the universe a beautiful shade of white. I think it's about time again, don't you? And Jupiter,
Yes, Master.
you're going on a diet. Konkura will supervise.
These 3 crates into the lead ship. And hurry up now, there's a squall brewing.
Perfect. Don't move. They will be in awe of my work for millenniums.
There's some nice jokes here and there.
The dragon! Hide the children!
Yes, hi Seal. Old school, like almost 25-year-old game. Yeah. Exactly. All right. So I figured out I cannot turn down the individual music volume and such, so I just turned down the game overall on OBS. I hope that's better. Yeah. It's kinda symbolic, I guess. Oh yeah, we went through this, I guess.
Yesterday I was captain of a trader plying the seas, and that's all I ever wanted to be. I was free. I saw distant lands others only heard tale of. I was happy. No, thanks to Jupiter, I'm a ruler bound to duty in a foreign world. That it is unknown is of no consequence. The unknown I'm accustomed to. But I'm expected to rule here, to wage war, and to win. For Jupiter, greater glory. For me, only a test. And at the end, only freedom or ruin, like every voyage upon the sea. I do not know if I will be an able commander, but hope will be my anchor. If Hannibal, nightmare of ancient Rome and paragon of strategists, can spring upon the world from a family of traders, so can I. Indeed, my empire this day is no greater than many a ship that sailed under my command.
So I just realized this text is wrong. I mean, sure, the rebellion is up here, but we start down here. This is the start, not the gold. The gold must be somewhere up here. So yeah, the translation is, or maybe it wasn't the original as well. I think it was in the original as well, where they mislabeled things. Because hey, old. But yeah, let's hope that the music won't be too loud this time. And the scrolling speed will be okay. And oh, and the resolution. Oh yeah, the resolution adapted, so it's more zoomed out. Yes, yes, that is good. That is very good. How's the music? Is it still too loud or is it okay? Sounds good? Okay. Good, good. Yeah, this scroll speed is much better. So yeah, we start down here in this bottom corner. The rebellion is up here. And so this game essentially is all about resource management, right? And managing tiny bit. I mean, I can turn it down a little bit on OBS. Hold on. Let's hope my game doesn't crash. Okay, it works. Let's check. Get these dudes here. Right. So you don't actually control the normal settlers. You only give them orders for what to build. And then they just do everything on their own. And this is resource management, so you need to gather resources and need to also manage where the resources are. As you can see, yes, exactly. It's about settlers sticking signs into the ground here to see if there's metal. Exactly. Yippee! They found some. They found coal. Okay, that's a good start. Yippee! Oh, and there's iron. Awesome. Right. And as you can see, there is no central resource stash thing, right? Like you get in most modern RTSs or so, where settlers or workers or whatever deliver resources to some drop-off point and then you just have them in your stash. No, resources are on the map. They occupy a physical location, which means if I have all my stone down here and I build something that requires a lot of stone all the way up here, settlers need to come and carry all that stone up to that area. And that takes a while. So, and this is all about the management cycles. Like the woodcutter cuts trees to form logs, and then the logs go to the sawmill to become planks, and then the planks are the building material. And later chains become more complex. So that's essentially the gist of the game. You need to manage all of these things to make sure that things flow as efficiently as possible. Yeah, and that's really what makes this series like unlike many other series. Yeah, exactly. You only need food for the miners. That's so you have the basic building materials, wood and stone. Then you have different types of food to give to different types of miners. And then you have heavy industry, which is smelting and forging and such. And that's basically it, right? So you have resource production here, you have food production here, military buildings here, and then what is this miscellaneous? So like residences, you get more settlers and such, temples for priests. But yeah, that's what makes the series stick out. And this, like the third incarnation, Settlers 3, is kind of simplified compared to 2, because in Settlers 2, you also had to build all the roads, right? And depending on how much space there was, sometimes you had to loop roads all around or so, and then carrying goods would take a lot of time because the roads were inefficient. Here, you can see paths. They are more or less cosmetic. I think the settlers move slightly faster on paths, but the paths get formed automatically just by people walking somewhere regularly. Right. Now we can see here's some iron here, some coal up here. So we build an iron mine over here and a coal mine over here. Then we grab these people, the prospectors, and there's more mountains. The scroll is a little bit finicky, but I'll manage. Yeah, so now you can see, oh, the sawmill has produced a couple of planks and such, and now they're being carried over here because I'm building something here, right? And things like trees and stones and such take up space. So as long as these things are here, I cannot build here, right? I cannot build anything. But when they're cut down and such, then I can. So it's very intricate, actually. And then you need all the tools. You need someone to make tools. Like if you run out of certain tool, like if I run out of scythes, I cannot have any more farmers until I have a toolsmith make more scythes, because, you know, farmers need that tool. So there's a lot of these management things to think about. So calling this an RTS is not really what the game is about. The game is really resource management. We can see there's the border up here. What are they building? A woodcutter's hut. Okay. Build a watchtower. Get someone down here. And get iron production going at some point. And A single sawmill can support 2 woodcutters. So I'm getting a second woodcutter here, and I'm going to shift the workstation or the working area down here so I can clear this patch of land. I want to see like how many soldiers they have. I'm just curious. Probably a bad idea marching in like this. Oh, okay, they're attacking. Oh, okay, I just conquered this. Is this really all I have to do? If so, then this... yeah, this is speedrunning right here. This is, Was that it? Are there no more soldiers? And the message in the beginning was like, your enemy is very aggressive. It's like, what? I'm surprised. Like, when I played this as a kid, I don't know how long I spent on this map, but apparently that's it. Okay, there's one more tower down here. This is okay. So this is apparently just a tutorial map where you just get used to, you know, the basic resource management. Let's see if there's... Yeah, no, this seems to be the last tower. I've won! Yay! Okay. Hooray! Yeah, same. This is... What? Like, this is so much easier than I remember. What is this? This is speedrunning. You just take your army and march up. Done. I don't know what I have to do now, if I have to quit game or not. I think I quit the game. Yeah, I've won.
We had conquered the island, we had vanquished the enemy, and then the greedy Roman wolf tore itself to pieces fighting over the prey. I should have trusted my intuition, warning me of Remigius. I needed him. He was my best general, but alas, I fed a snake at my breast. Civil war now behind me, I look over what remains of my empire and resolve to begin again. Remigius fled with his band to an island in the north and formed an alliance with a horde of pirates from the west.
Sorry, I was drinking.
We must quickly retake the island and secure the coasts, and then we must break out to the sea, where I'm at home. I will not have Remigius feeling too sure of himself anymore.
Yes, that was mission 1 of the campaign, of campaign 1. Speedrun record is 1 minute 16. Yeah, I can imagine that you literally just grab all of your dudes, march up, and have them like take all 3 towers at once, and then you win. Right, because you really only need 2 or 3 soldiers to take a tower. And then you can have all your archers just bombarding the enemy army, and yeah. But yeah, I must have also been a massive noob back when I played this. So right, so this mission is probably still relatively easy because this mission introduces you to another important concept, which is trade routes. Just like how you don't control settlers directly, you don't control the movement of goods directly. Instead, you have to build trade ships and establish trade routes that automatically ship goods between different settlements. Conquer the entire map. Okay, so decimated a large part of the colony. Rebels have withdrawn across the North Sea. Are colonizing there. Reports a rebel with a group of pirates in the west. One of your scout ships has landed in the northwest, not too far from your colony. You need to establish an outpost there and attack the enemy from this. Alright. So this is basically using the main island to secure the outpost. Alright, I want all the high-ranking dudes to go. And this is another thing, like, as soon as a tower... Like, towers are how you expand your territory. And as soon as a tower is finished... Oh, hi! Shin534. Welcome to the stream, hello. Yeah, this is pure nostalgia. This is all about the nostalgia here. So, that's what we're about. Yeah, definitely. This is okay, I'm just checking what we have here. A woodcutter, a forester. This is very inefficient. I don't like it, but okay. We already have an iron mine and a coal mine. We have a couple spies. Right. No, in Settlers 2, nothing was active. Nothing at all. You have to select an enemy tower and then just say, attack this thing, and then nearby soldiers would just gather and attack it. So, Settlers 2 was even less interactive than this. And a lot more difficult as a result. Alright, let's see. Let's build up a bit of economy up here while we can. Just so... And then I need a shipwright. Shipyard. And a harbor, I think. Landing dock. Yeah, I need that. And a landing dock up here, I think. I need to remember. I'm trying to remember how this worked. Shipping goods. If I need a landing dock on both ends or not. I might. Do I have food production? I don't have any. Fishing. Oops. Yeah, so the mines are down here, which means ideally I want food production. Whoops, be down here as well. But for any more food production, I need more space. And also this music is a lot of nostalgia. Right, a woodcutter. No, that's a pig. Woodcutter. Sawmill. And the thing is also, because you only have a limited amount of settlers to do tasks, if you queue too many things at once, like if you just build up 10 buildings at once, it will take a really long time because all the settlers will be like busy just very inefficiently completing their jobs and servicing all 10 buildings and at once instead of one after the other. So that's another thing to watch out for. Let's go another tower up here to get the mountain. Ah, and the scrolling here is takes getting used to. All right, second woodcutter. Can't build it here. So another tower. This is a trade ship. That place to build, and then no wait. There we go, and then trade ship. Okay. And yeah, and then I can use this to ship things back and forth. Okay. Whew. This is slowly getting it. Do I have any prospectors here? I do not. Do I have any down here? Don't see. I can check what I have. I think here. I have 3. Where are they? Where am I? Oh, here. There. Prospector. Prospector. Yeah, this is also another like lack of quality of life thing in this old game. But well. It is what it is. Old games. You gotta take the good with the bad. Take the nostalgia with all the frustration, I suppose. Let me get 2 guys down here to search this area of the mountain. But yeah, I am excited for this series. I never beat this game as a kid. Never. I made it. I don't know how far I made it, but I only made it into a couple of missions into the Roman campaign, and that's it. So the first 2, 3, maybe 4 missions I kind of remember. But then everything else, I have no clue. Simply because I sucked at the game. So, Weird Monster Race? I think that's Settlers 4. This one, it has an expansion pack for the Amazons, which I have because this is the ultimate edition of the game with everything in it. But yeah, no, I think the Weird Monster Race would be Settlers 4. Which I also own, but have never ever played. So I do want to go and get into that. There are things like Settlers United and stuff that's free and only needs a little installation. For its quality of life features, more shortcuts, HD graphics for better eye experience, different zooming enable. Oh. Okay. So is that like a mod? Or there are no free settlers. So is the Settlers United a mod for the game? Because if it is, I might actually get that then for this game if right, because the goal is not to play the game. Like if it's just a couple of quality of life and graphics improvements, then sure, I'll take it. As long as it doesn't fundamentally change the game. So yeah, that's how you can tell a real masterpiece, right? Games were built different back then. So alright, let's build a house. Sure, let's build it here. Bridge. No, this is okay, more coal. The funny thing is, as Romans, you don't actually need all that many coal mines. Basically, in a way, United is basically like a little launcher from where we can start that was turning 4 from, and then you have those little things. Turn on and off almost everything. Okay, I'll have to check that out then after the stream. Thanks a lot for the tip. Settlers United. I'll have to, yeah. I'll check it out. And then see yeah, see if I can get it running to make the game, I don't know, smoother and the experience a bit better. Sure, I'll check it out. Alright, I don't want to waste a lot of towers here. So, how many barriers do I have? A couple, but I am building this house. What is he missing? Oh, he's missing an iron. Oof. Okay. Like, it sucks that I cannot build an iron smelter anywhere. Oh no, anywhere close to the mines. That sucks. I can only build it all the way over there, which is super inefficient. So I don't want to do that yet. Oh, where do you find coal? More coal. Okay. But yeah, funny thing is, as Romans, you don't actually need all that much coal or coal mines. Because you have a special building that only the Romans get, which is the charcoal maker. So you can turn wood planks into coal. I think it's pretty inefficient. Is like the conversion rate is inefficient, but it frees you up from mining. And mining is a whole big thing, and you get wood anyway, and at some point you don't need that much wood anymore. So you can just have a healthy wood economy and then just get a charcoal maker. And it is pretty OP, in my opinion. Okay, so that's more dudes over here. And that means I can probably get a couple of prospectors. Come on. Move up here and see if there's anything worthwhile. Then get a forester up here so that I don't run out of trees. So yeah, and it helps to know the like the rates of how many buildings need what. Oh, and S4, the Vikings have it? Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, in this game it's the Romans. Which, and like, it frees you up so like no other Civ gets anything comparable. Right? I mean, the Egyptians get gems, which replaces gold. Okay, so you don't have to use coal on gold, and gems have double the power of gold. Sure, fine. But it's still kind of dependent on you finding gems in mountains, you know? And the Chinese or the Asians get screwed over. Basically, they don't get anything special in that regard. So being able to not have to rely on coal, and you need coal for everything. You need coal to smelt, and you need coal to smith. So coal is really used for everything, and that makes it very, very powerful. It's gonna finish. All right. This would be a nice spot for a coal mine. Yeah, I have a coal mine. The game is a bit funny in that regard. Which is like, oh, this would be a good spot for a coal mine. It's like, I've built a coal mine there. You know, so Oh god, scrolling. Okay, now that I have a bunch more villagers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 5 pioneers. Send them here, because what pioneers can do, they can very slowly shift out your borders. It takes a while, but the good thing, actually I can do more. The good thing is, it's essentially free. It only costs you manpower. You don't waste building material and space, and most importantly, soldiers or towers. And once they're done, you can turn pioneers back into normal settlers. Right? So that's super great. Where you can just take over land and increase your territory. So I don't want to plaster everything full with towers here. So that's what I'm going to do here. And then I will come here and have the people move the border over here. And hopefully this woodcutter will clear up enough space. Where is the working area? So that I can build an iron smelter somewhere around here. Not yet. Because that would be much more efficient. Than having the economy spread out completely. And another side effect of not having a central stash for your resources is that buildings can only store 8 of any resource. So you can tell this coal mine has 8 buckets of coal in front of it, or 8 baskets of coal. That's it. This is full, which is why this mine is not producing anything right now. It's just sitting there, completely idle. Same with this sawmill. This sawmill has 8 logs and 8 planks. And that's it. The sawmill is not going to work anymore until some of the planks get taken away because they are needed for some building project. And then the carpenter, I believe, will just come out and start working again. So that's another... Oops, why are they not there? That's another aspect to pay attention to, which didn't exist in Settlers 2, actually. In Settlers 2, you had central storage buildings, which meant that any unused resource would be taken to a central storage building. So with clever placement of those, you could manipulate where resources would gather and such. So that adds another element, but it doesn't introduce this idle time that these buildings have. Right. And this really affects everything. Once this woodcutter and this woodcutter have 8 logs, that's it. They will stop working. Because they are full. Right? They don't have any more space to store any more logs. Come on, let me build. And yeah, this is like this stone cutter. The stone cutter is full. He's not gonna touch any of this. Okay, I can actually start building the mines up here as well. And because I'm doing that, I'll start fishing this. Okay. So there's a lot of little things to think about in this game. Concerning all of this resource management. So that's... And I like that. You know, it makes the game complex, but in a in a very like it's a big puzzle essentially. Right? It's not a very fast-paced APM. How many dudes can I click out of a building at what speed and such? This is very more cerebral, slower paced cerebral. Alright, check. Oh, I can't. Yes! Ah! Can build an iron smelter there now. Awesome. Okay, so this is right next to the mines, which is where I want it to be. Where's this dude? I come here, search this area. And look, now my area has expanded very far. There's fog of war here because I don't have any buildings over here. But that's okay, right? And look, now because I've set the building of the iron smelter, the dudes are taking the stone from the stonecutter, and now the stonecutter can craft more stone because he has space again. So a lot of these small efficiency things to watch out for. Alright, let's see. Could place another stonecutter down here. Alright, that's all the resources needed. Good, good. And then once I have iron, I'll be able to finish this ship. And then I can send things over. And then the outpost will be more secured. Okay. Let's build more tower to spread out a little more. I don't want to use pioneers on this island because there are other people on this island with me. And if you don't secure your borders with a tower, like they can just build a tower right next to your border or so, and or like as close as possible, and then just take over all your territory uncontested. Because you don't have a tower to block it. So I can do it on this big island because there's no one else here with me. But on the small island, I do want the towers to guard my territory. Getting some iron and coal. So what I can do... Oh, hey! Bernard! Thanks for the raid. Hi, hi. Hold on, let me, I'm now... Okay, hi! Hi, how are you doing? Woo, yeah! Awesome! Hi! Let me give you the shout out. Bernard VT. Yes. Playing Final Fantasy X. Awesome. Yeah. I really like it as well. Definitely go check out Bernard. Really comfy streamer, very great on commentary. Like lots of good insight in all the games they play. So definitely check out Bernard. And their model is an amazingly cute Demon Teddy. So if that is not a reason to go follow Bernard, I don't know what is. Thanks. How was it? How far did you get in Final Fantasy? Like you just started, right? So how was it? How did it go? Any major developments? Alright, let's check. Need to see, how does this work? I kind of forgot. Stop because the CGI cutscenes are. Oh, that is that's a bit heartbreaking. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that. That the cutscenes can be a bit unstable. But okay, at least hopefully now you will definitely remember next time you stream Final Fantasy that oh wait, there was something, right? Yes, exactly. Exactly. We're all about the nostalgia here. That's This is what we're about. Which is why I'm playing these old games, which is why I have, yeah, all of these alerts with all the old sounds and such. I'm old. I want to wallow in my nostalgia. Okay, so there's my first few iron. Okay, and now the trade ship will be finished. Whew. Took a while, but that's okay. And then once the trade ship is done, I can build a transport ship to get off all my soldiers and spies and stuff. All right, trade ship is done. So now this is place dock. That work? Do I place dock? Or do I click? Or do I click? Ah, okay. And then end of route. There. And then I can just, oops, and then I can just say, move 16 wood or 16 planks over to this place. And then the ship will do everything automatically. And while that this is done, please build a transport ship. All right. See, and now they're all taking these planks. And then this dude comes out with his saw. Bigfoot saws. Later, I'm gonna go make breakfast, run a few errands. I don't know how long the stream. I'll be back for the end stream. Oh yeah. Have fun with your errands, and thank you for dropping by, Bigfoot. Definitely. Trade ship is ready. Yeah, coal mine. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to stream this. I mean, I'm excited to play this, so I'll go for a while, I suppose. Until I'm too tired to be coherent. Yes, please try to have fun. And good luck, I guess. All right. Now I want you to search down here. Oh, iron, nice. And I want you to come up here. So there's some iron over here, that's not bad. But again, you don't need that much iron compared to coal, because smelting takes 1 coal, 1 iron ore. And then you have these iron bars. And smithing them takes 1 iron bar and 1 coal. So everything just needs coal. Oh, what was that? Some iron? Alright. And toolsmith. Alright, let's see where I can put. Where's the weaponsmith? Here. Sorry, had to sneeze. Okay, I can put all of the soldier production things here, so let me build a toolsmith. It's always important, and this is an easy mistake to make in longer maps, is that you don't build a toolsmith and then run out of hammers, run out of appropriate settlers, and then you're just stuck. Because the toolsmith requires a hammer. Right, I still have 2 hammers here. And in order to get more tools, you need a toolsmith. Right? But if you cannot build more hammers, you can never get a toolsmith to build the tools you need. And then you're just stuck with what you have. So it's always important to get that toolsmith right off the bat, if you don't already have one. Like... This is a builder. What is this? Specialist? No, that's production stats. Where can I see? This is probably specialist. Yeah, I cannot see how many actual toolsmiths I have. Oh, the ship is finished. Okay. Yeah, and then you're just out of luck. Tools. Yeah, and again, everything is done through the menus, right? If you want something produced, you go to this menu here and say, oh, please produce these tools. Or you say, oh, who gets what, right? So the weaponsmith gets 1/3 of all the iron. The toolsmith gets 1/3 of it, the shipyard gets some, and so on. And this is priority of how items are carried from place to place. So wood and stone, or planks and stone, are the highest. And then the ores, food and such, the weapons, tools, and all the way down to wine. And you can change all of this. Right? Oh, what is that? Oh, that was here. Yeah, you can change all of this to fine-tune your economy. Yeah, so this is pretty intricate, really. Okay. Now I'm safe. Now I have this building. Now someone will come here, I think. Pick up. Yeah, here. I have another smith. And I had this dude. Will come here, be a toolsmith. And now I'm safe. If I ever need any tools, I know I have someone who can take care of it. Right? And now that that's done, now I can build a weaponsmith. Because that's what you need to get soldiers. Which kinda sorta makes sense, I think. And then once you have a weaponsmith, you build a barracks so that people can become soldiers. That pioneer got stuck. Let's see. Need to look at food production at some point, so let me build another woodcutter to clear out this space. But I can start farming over here. landing dock. We build a landing dock here. Unload. Right. Ooh, this is... Actually, never mind. Let me stop this dude. No weaponsmith down here. It's much more efficient for me to bring iron over here and to have weaponsmith over here on this island. Because carting soldiers is a lot of manual shipping a bunch of people. Like, these guys are stuck. Are you serious? They're stuck on that tiny little island? Oh my god. Wow. Come on. Come on. Will this work? Yeah, that's a little bit finicky. Okay. They can get on at least. Yeah, spies, please. Okay. And let me come over here because there's no tiny islands where these people can get stuck on. Look at this. This is just a little bit ridiculous. But okay. Okay, there's absolutely nothing up here, which is a bit sad. Unload, come back here, pick these guys up. Okay. Now, I don't know what they're called, spies or rogues or something. These dudes essentially have a huge line of sight, or relatively huge line of sight, and they look like enemy villagers. Except I think the AI is not fooled, which is, you know, back programming or oversight, or this is a lot of rock. Wow. But apparently they can steal goods. And so that's also nice. Being able to steal stuff. Always a nice thing. At least when it comes to stealing people, not stealing things from people who are your enemies. Always steal from your enemies, kids. Don't steal from your friends. Not worth it. Okay, so yeah, definitely meat. Are these guys getting fish? Fish. Yeah, please give them some fish. I know they don't like fish as much. So every type of food is for one type of miner. Coal miners want bread. Iron miners want ham. And gold miners want fish. But you can give them any type of food, and they will accept it. It won't be as effective as the other types of food, as their preferred type of food, but yeah, they'll take it, and it will still have an effect. So there's at least that. Okay, so for some reason this dude is still stuck up here, but okay. Get this guy down here. For the tower. Alright, and now I'm getting some smelting. Was there coal over here? I don't remember. And these signs decay over time. Right, so they don't stay there forever. Which means you either need prospectors constantly covering an area like so, or you need to remember, or you just need to look for resources again. So that's me. Gold. Well then. Yes please. Give me gold. So what gold is used for is gold makes your soldiers stronger because you can pay them. Right? And you don't need to do anything with the gold. You just need to have it. So as long as you have gold bars lying around somewhere, your soldiers will become stronger. Which is nice, right? So having the gold here is pretty cool. I'm seeing someone up here. Alright, another tower. Yeah. And at some point I might want a larger tower to have more security. Okay. Iron smelting is coming ahead. So let me this over here. Oh. Get on the boat. Get on the boat. Come on. Okay, he's not stuck permanently. Nice. I was a little bit worried there for a second. Not gonna lie. But look, the pioneers have almost covered the entire island. And I did not have to use any towers. So that's great. That's really great. Okay. And see, because I had a building that was underway here, but then canceled it, all the resources that were brought here are still lying here, right? Because they weren't needed anywhere else. Let's see. What does my economy need? Some farming. Where is there suitably flat land? It's not too far away from the mines. Down here. Down here. Okay, so I will make a farm. Over here. This is not. Where's the water well? Water well. Here, close to a river. And then, yeah, and then eventually I need mills and everything. Ooh, yeah, all of this is slowly coming back. Slowly remembering how all of this works. Now let me get this pioneer. I have some more mountains over here. Oh, more coal. Nice. Lot more coal. Come over here. Alright, now this belongs to me, this area, and now I want to build a larger tower if I can. No, I cannot. Oh, there's more gold there. I must have that. Or rather, I don't want the enemy to have that. And it's kind of important not giving them. And I don't mind this prospector being here because I can see his signs as well, right? So, doesn't bother me. He's helping me. Find more stuff. So that's nice. I like it. All right, more coal. And down here, search this. Or you know, my soldier can just decide, nope. Sure, I guess that's that. Oh hey, down here, look. There's a border. Okay. Let's check. Alright, let me get stone cutter. Can I get another tower some? Oh, I can get a tower all the way down there. That is good. Very nice. Because that will allow me, like, essentially you use towers to reinforce your borders. Right, every tower has a range around it where it covers the territory, but towers also cancel each other out and such, so more towers equals more better when it comes to border control. So yeah, there's more gold over here, which is nice. I definitely want that. Do I have any archer? Can't actually see. Oh no, here. I have 0 archers. That's a bit sad. Who this? Weaponsmith. Is there no dude in here, or what's going on? Doesn't have any coal. Let me build a woodcutter up here. And then I have a lot of wood production down here, so let me build a charcoal maker. So I can create coal and send the coal over. And then that should hopefully help out with the... Because I don't need coal down here past some iron smelting. Right? I don't really need it. But having coal up here where I have the major iron and gold smelting and also have the weaponsmithing and such, that's kind of important to have a lot of coal here. So I can produce more coal with a charcoal maker down here. And then send it up the other island. And then I can build yet another woodcutter here. Can this dude actually work over here? So that would be amazing. Yeah, see, 4 fish, like food only stores up to 4 at mines. So 4 fish, 8 gold. This gold mine is like completely full. Completely idle, but also complete efficiency. More gold. More gold is. Cannot build a big tower here. Not yet. So this area is relatively flat. I can probably do some farming over here. Okay. And then farming. Do I have a farmer on the way? Snow. Yeah, okay, there he is. Farmer. And then I need a mill. Somewhere close by. Need to plan ahead a little bit. I actually want a second farm over here. Because a pig farm also needs grain. Yeah, this looks okay. And then I can build. I can have, yeah, the farm plant things here, and then I can have the mill. Not so easy. I want it to be quite efficient. Right here, and then I can have the mill over here, and the bakery over here. Ha, it fits. Awesome. Okay, good. Charcoal maker. Unload these people here, and you two go over here. Start searching. More spying, please. Can I steal stuff? Is that a thing? There's a gold mine here. Can I steal a gold ore? There's something, or coal ore, or something? How does this work? Let's see. Can I steal stone? I just want to try. Ah! Stole it. Ah! Okay, run! Run! Run from the soldier! No! No, I think that's it. Yeah, no. He's gonna die. Oh well. It was fun to try it. What does this need? Nothing yet. Nothing more. Okay. Let's see. I can send a couple of hammers up. So let me send the 2 hammers up. Never mind. These guys just took them. Welp. Alright, produce 8 hammers, please. Let's see. Iron ore. Sure, why not? Coal. Okay. Iron, yeah. Gold? Is there gold down here? Or was it over here? Oh, this dude hasn't been searching. Okay. All these pioneers, please come over here. Alright, these dudes are done. And pioneers is also a way how you can move villagers from place to place. Because you can directly control pioneers. So I can put all these pioneers on the boat, move them over here, and then turn them back into normal villagers. And then I have more dudes on, yeah, gold, coal, yeah, sure. What? But I shifted the area. Did that not work? It's not. Okay. Okay. So, alright, so the weaponsmith has been working. That's very good. Charcoal maker. I can tell this dude to stop working for now. Because I don't need that much iron here for right. Actually, you know what? Never mind. Yeah, and I like the charcoal maker is just like, yeah, I'm a cough a little bit. While I'm at it, because that's what a charcoal maker does, right? Coughs to make charcoal. Alright, these dudes go on the ship. How's the farming? Doesn't look great. All of these are also done. Okay. Come over here, please. What's here? Let's check. Okay, there's nothing else up here, so this area... Oh, this is a great farming area. It's very flat. I like it. And there's more stone. Okay, so they essentially... They have this stone here because this is another tutorial map, right? The enemy cannot build a tower encroaching on you until the stone is cleared away, which takes time, which gives you, the player, time to build up and not have to panic and such. Right? Okay, so these two guys just grab this little area because why not? And I can grab this up here actually with the pioneers. Oh, it's blocking. Blocking the landing point. Alright, so come here. And down here. Alright. Man, ships in this game are a little bit, have a mind of their own sometimes. Okay. There's not a lot of coal up here. See that. Means I really need some bread. I could make another charcoal maker up here. I want to keep this area for farming. I'll eventually destroy this woodcutter's hut, I think. Not a bad spot. Okay. You two become villagers again. Yay. You start to take land. Yep. And the numbers are a bit odd. Like, the game runs on 8 as the base number for a lot of things. Right? Resource piles are always piles of 8. So every full pile of anything is 8. Buildings can have a maximum of 8 of a resource piled up before they're full. If you increase items like shipping here, it increases in steps of 8 and such. Food, okay, is in 4 for the mines, but that's like half of it. half of 8, that's okay. And then the transport ship comes along and is like, no, I can only carry 7 people. I go, what? Why 7? I don't know. 7. It's 7. Just deal with it. So I don't know why the transport ship breaks the rule of like having 8s of everything. But it does. And it's a little bit jarring. Oh god, ship plus 8 people equal 7 people equals 8. Fine. Fine. You win. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that it's 8. I mean, I get, yeah, it probably comes from binary, right? They just wanted a good number for the computer to handle. Sure. But okay. I guess the transport ship also counts as something, so you need that for the 8th spot. But it's still a bit unsatisfying, you know? Everything else is so clean. The steps of 8, and then the transport ship comes along. It's like, no, screw you. Same here. This is 5. Probably for easier number, but anyway. So, I mean, you can see a lot of, like, it hides the tech very well, but for instance, the game, the map has a, what do you call it? Not a hexagonal pattern. Dedicated ship hand. Okay, someone has to drive the ship, I suppose. Okay. The ship hand is just below deck the whole time. Like, you don't see it that obviously, but if you look at like the edge of the snow or how the rivers run, you can tell that the map actually has this hexagonal pattern underneath. It's hidden pretty well, or if you look at the paths, for instance, it's hidden pretty well because you can place buildings pretty freely and the pattern is relatively small. But you can still spot it every now and then. And when you go into the map editor, it's very obvious that it's a cleverly hidden, like those hexagonal triangles thing, if that makes sense. Like hexagons cut into 6 triangles, that kind of pattern. You can see it pretty obviously here along this coastline as well. But yeah, it's just clever little things they use to hidden behind relatively pretty graphics, especially for a game that's more than 20 years old. Aha! There's an empty tower. I'm gonna grab that empty tower. Grab the empty tower, unless someone is gonna come fill it up. Well, in the time it takes me to get there. Why is there an empty tower? Does that mean there's not enough soldiers? I guess the only reason you would have an empty tower, a tower is only effective if a soldier goes in, right? And then you see the little dude in the window. If that's not the case, then it's just an empty building sitting here doing nothing. Or worse than nothing, because if an enemy comes along, they can just go in and take over the tower without a fight. And the fact that no one is coming here to occupy this tower hints at that the AI has no more soldiers left. They're all sitting in towers, all occupied. So that's possibly what's happening. So yeah, I'm curious. So if I now go there with all of my dudes, if I can just take that tower, and if I will meet any resistance. All right, do want to build a tower over... I can't. Search for whatever resources are up here, I guess. Please clear this area. Yeah, see? They just have to break down the door. And then, boom, this area is mine. No one came to defend? For real? I am so confused. Does this just mean they had no soldiers? Did I just spend like what, 45 minutes doing unnecessary stuff? Just like building up a huge economy, and in the end it's just Zerg rushing them again? Is that what's happening? Oh no, here, there's a whole army. Okay, never mind. Wow, that's a powerful... These are all generals. These are like soldiers get stronger with gold, yes. And you can promote them. And you promote them by offering with temples. Right? You need to create an alcoholic beverage and then sacrifice that at a temple in order to get enough divine power to promote your soldiers. And that also makes them stronger. So right now you can tell the difference. They're hidden here. By how big the plume is on their helmets. So if they don't have anything on their helmets, they're just normal privates. Or whatever they're called. If they have one plume on their helmet, which is dudes sitting in here, then they're, I don't know, sergeants or something. And then this guy with a huge plume is a general. And I just saw a whole bunch of general spearmen and such over here. So they do have a big army. But they're not being very aggressive. So, I'm not quite sure what's happening, but okay. Where is my... Okay, barracks. There we go. Can I build a tower over here now? Can you see this random dude walking around? That's an enemy spy. Your own villagers cannot leave your borders, but this dude is just randomly walking around not doing anything. That's an enemy spy. That's how you can tell. Like, when I played this game first, I was so confused. It's like, why is one of my villagers just randomly walking around not doing anything? Go to work, dude. Like, I need more villagers. Go to work. And then he left my territory. It's like, what? Who are you? Like, what is the game bugging out and such? And until I realized, oh wait, those are enemy spies. They do that. So that was is there anyone on here? No, okay. Yeah, that took a bit of like a bit of research in a way, because back then we didn't have good internet, we didn't even have Google. We didn't have good game guides or anything. It's just everyone was stuck on their own trying to figure things out. So let's go through these messages up. How's this coming along? Looks much better. All right, I have bread now being made down here, and now I need ham. So a pig farm. Yeah, let's put it over here. And then a slaughterhouse. Nope, that's not good. Because I want those two to be closer together. So, pig farm. Slaughterhouse, I cannot build that anymore. Well, This is like min-maxing. Pig farm up here, slaughterhouse over here. And I need another well. Alright. By the way, these dark green patches are swamp. And only the Chinese can use swamp. They grow rice in swampland. The other civilizations cannot use it. So for me, this is just useless terrain. Same with desert. There's also desert, not on these maps. This kind of sort of looks a bit like desert. And only the Egyptians can build on desert. So there's a bit of other, a bit more to the game than just cosmetics sense. Alright, I'm getting a lot of... Okay, now this dude is full. Has 8 gold bars. Gold bars are not used anywhere. They just sit around. Which means in order for the gold smelter to build more gold bars or smelt more gold bars, I need to move these gold bars somehow. And the only way to do that, or one of the only ways, there are other ways, is to build a storage area. Now that I think about it though, I could also just ship the gold bars. I don't have to build a storage area. You know what? Screw that. Let me try that. So. Oops. So. Because it doesn't matter where they are, as long as they are in my territory. Right? So I can have this landing dock. Does that work? Apparently not. Why are you not letting me? There we go. Okay. Right. And then I can just say, well, okay, ship all of the gold over here. And then it will just be sitting here on the coast, which is okay, right? I don't need it. Let me actually move it here, there. I can just have it sit somewhere in my territory, and then it'll be out of the way, and the gold smelter can continue producing gold bars. Alright, so this is one place where the production queue and production storage of buildings really comes into play. Where do I need a second trade ship? I might need one for every landing dock. So let me just build a second trade ship, because why not? And move some coal over. Yeah, I have so much coal here now. Coal over there, move some iron over there. And move hammers over. Wanted to move the hammers. There, look at this pile of hammers just lying here. This dude's just still sticking signs into the ground. Good job, you. Keep up the good work. Alright, let me see. I will build... I need to build a vintner at some point. Or a winery. Sure, let me build it here. The winery also needs a waterworks. And then a small temple. There, okay. So the alcoholic beverage, every civilization has their own alcoholic beverage, and the alcoholic beverages are all sacrificed at the small temple so that you get divine favor. Because as we found out in the beginning, the gods are massive drunkards, right? And every civ has their own alcoholic beverage. The Romans have wine, and wine is relatively simple. It just requires a winery that needs some water, and that's it. It just produces wine. The Egyptians have beer, which uses grain and water, so they don't even need a new resource in that sense. They just have a brewer, and just as long as they have a food economy, they can also brew beer. The Chinese have rice wine. Yes, rice wine. So they need to build rice in swamps and then take it to a distillery, and I think the distillery might even need coal or something. It's a massive undertaking with the Chinese. Oh, I'm under attack. No. Move. Perhaps some people. Okay, I didn't lose too much. At least. Oh, that's but I do need more settlers. There. Build a big building. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the raid, Bernard. Oh, it must be really late for you. Yeah, have a good night. Have a good rest. Yeah, and thanks for coming by. Let's hope. See, these are all generals. These are all like high-level dudes. So the goal right now is not to take over the tower. The goal right now is just to thin out their numbers a little bit, so that there aren't as many generals left, because look here, these are just privates coming in to reinforce. So that's what are you two doing? And them, the yellow dude taking this tower, again, it didn't take over much territory. Because I have this tower here. This tower helps me retain this block. Otherwise, I would have lost all of this down here. I only lost this little corner, effectively. So that's good. That's really good. So that does allow me to hopefully build some sort of defense. And with more settlers, I'm building a big house here. With more settlers, I need more stone up there. So deliver some stone. Oops, that's too much. Some more wood. And always more coal and iron. Please deliver stuff. Okay, there's quite a few carriers here, so that should be okay. Yeah, there's a lot of carriers. Alright. So this big island is okay. This outpost is looking a bit shaky. Look, this is a huge army just guarding. Trade ship is ready. Okay, they're moving. Nice. Okay. So more trade ships just means things move quicker. That's okay. See, and all the gold is over here now. Quite a lot. Each pile is 8. Right, so this is 19 gold. There's even more on the way. Which is good to see, you know. That means my dudes are relatively powerful. 42% strength. I don't know what this 42% strength means. I really don't. A lot of this is very arcane in this game. Farm. I wanted to build farms up here. A grain farm over here. Yes, and another grain farm. I built one down here. Okay, that's it. So woodcutter. No, okay. Build another woodcutter. Let's see. This is a good spot for a farm though. So yeah, build it here. Get rid of this dude. Okay. So that I have space down here again. Because then I can place a grain farm, hopefully at some point over here. Because grain farms also need a space to Oh wow, these dudes have been busy. Okay, nice. I now get to access all of this stuff. Cool. I like that a lot. All right, I wasn't even paying attention, but they've basically filled out everything here. All right. That's nice. Very nice. Yeah, see, and now the carriers, because the carriers or settlers cannot leave your territory. So now that this is connected, they can come over here and just grab all of this stuff. All right. Let's see. Get rid of these trees for now. And the nice thing is, soldiers will not attack settlers. So my dudes can just keep walking around here without problem. This is a spy though. But like my stonecutter can just stand here, no problem, and the soldiers will just leave him alone. They're very nice like that. Oh, look at all this stuff here. Nice, nice. And I realized the gold doesn't even have to be shipped over. It just has to be not at the gold smelter. Right? It can sit here as well. That's perfectly okay. Awesome. Let me put archers on here. I only have one archer. Oh well. Let's see, I need more iron ore. Okay. You guys come over here and then expand up here a little bit so I get more territory from here. This is making me nervous. How's my How's this looking? Not too great. Where do I see this? Wait, not over here. Okay. I can probably make a second winery. Just because. To make things a bit quicker. Alright, there's some pigs here, there's some ham being made, awesome. And he just grabs the pig, goes in, and then the pig squeals, and then you get ham. Right, and then you get ham. So that's a bit morbid, but you know, such is life. Alright, the big house is finished. This gives me a lot of extra villagers. That was very necessary. Can I build another one somewhere? Like large residences take a lot of space and resources, but you get a lot of dudes with it, which is useful to have. See, and now people are actually carrying all of this stuff because I didn't have enough people carrying. So soldiers are also made from villagers. A villager carries a weapon over here, and then sometimes they will go there and then become a soldier, and then you lose a villager for that. So you need to keep replenishing your villagers by building... There, became a soldier. So you need to keep replenishing your villagers by building residences. Which is just another management aspect. So villagers are literally a resource in this game. I keep saying villagers, they're settlers. Settlers are a resource in this game. Alright, I have 3 woodcutter huts here. Let me see if I can't add another woodcutter over here just to get rid of this patch. Like, there's a lot of extra patches of trees and such that I can just get rid of. Same with like the stone down here. Can add another stone cutter down here. Just to get more land. Oof, alright. Divine promotion still at 0%. I don't like it. Oh, but there's the first wine. There's 1 wine. Yes. Sure, for the sake of having more iron, let me build iron mine. Really? He out? He's out. Can you move down here? Is that possible? You can. Okay, awesome. So you can get... Mine is out of minerals. That message is not always accurate. Sometimes they still find something. Look at this. Look at this pile of people. Like, there's still people coming out of here. That's a large residence is so cool. It's just an endless... It's not endless, but it looks like just an endless stream of settlers. Just several minutes. And it's just people coming out here. Just gawking at the soldiers. Right, now it's done. Alright. Yeah, there's a third. woodcutter. Let me grab this area up here. Okay, the farm looks done. Oh no, that was a pig farm. I misclicked. Oh no. Oh no. Now this, oh, I am unhappy. Very unhappy. No, they both look so similar. I misclicked. Oh well. They were about to take the water to the pig farm even. Oh well. Take land. Alright. Take the resources away, please. So that I can build something there. Grain farm. Alright, what else there to build? That said, if I have a grain farm here, I can build a windmill and a water well over here. Right, and that will use up some stone. Hopefully some of this stone. Which would be cool. And a stone cutter also requires some stone, so let's just do that. Let's just build a stone cutter here. Right, also requires 3 stone. So I just want them to take away the stone, please. And you don't get the full resources back. When you have a finished building and you destroy, you get about half of it back, so that was a bit of a waste. But I still have enough wood and stone, so that's okay. More villagers, carry stuff, please. There's so many of you, please carry stuff. Oh, it needs to be leveled first. Shovels. Alright, toolsmith, please make a couple of shovels. Do I have shovels here? Don't have any more shovels. So you have levelers, which, as the name implies, level the terrain where a building is being built, and they need shovels. Kinda, sorta obvious. Like, a lot of this is very intuitive, right? The tools you have are hammers, which are used by smiths and builders. You have shovels, which are used by levelers. You have pickaxes, which are used by miners and stonecutters. Axes, which are used, funnily, by woodcutters and by butchers. The saw for the sawmill, the scythe for the farmer, and the fishing rod for the fisher. And that's it. And then you have swords, bows, and spears. So relatively simple. Settlers 2 had a lot more. Like, every single job basically had its own specialized tool. The baker would need a rolling pin. The toolsmith needed tongs, and the weaponsmith needed a hammer or something. So it was, and the smelter needed a what do you call it? Like a smelting, like one of those things you take to pick up molten iron or molten metals and pour them. Like, it's kind of like a huge soup ladle thing. A lot of very specialized things going on there. if I build the grain farm here, I can have it use this flat area. Okay. And that was a bit unnecessary. That was a bit too much, I think. Too intricate. All right. Let's see here. Anything? I have a lot of coal and some iron. Right, those are the shovels. I can actually make more shovels now that I look at this. More shovels. Are there still hammers over here? No more hammers. Some hammers might not be bad. This is not being shipped over. So something is not quite right. What if I set the start over here? Do it like this? Oh dang, now they probably can't reach the stone. Oh well. Do I need a ship right over here on this island to build a ship for this island? Yellow is big. Yes, they are. There's a large group, but they're just standing there for some reason. So I cannot fight them right now because these are all generals. They will murderize me completely. I only have privates. But it does allow me to just gather strength and build up and get gold, for instance, and yeah. And slowly get more and more transfer. Okay. All right, there's wine here. That is good. Oh. Then move over here. More wood. Okay, these two are done. Nice. What did I could do with a second sawmill. Yeah. Because there's a lot of logs that are going to come in with all of the woodcutters I have. And having more planks is not bad because it feeds my charcoal maker. And I can always send planks up here. For more coal. And coal, like charcoal makers are amazing. I had no idea what they were. Because it uses, like when I played this game in German, it uses, like the term for charcoal maker is a word in German. It's its own word. It's something like Kohler, right? But as a kid, I had never heard of this thing before. Right? I was like, what the heck is a Kohler? And it changes the word a little bit, so it's not as obvious that it's talking about coal. I was like, what is this dude doing? So I never built those things because, yeah, Köhlerei or Köhler, exactly. But if you're a little kid, you don't understand that that is someone who deals with coal, right? Or at least I didn't. So I did not build those guys because I didn't know they were a thing, right? And I would always get stuck on having no coal in this game, which was suboptimal. Yeah. So that was the thing. Bakery. Build it here. And I can actually build a second grain farm over here. Alright. Shovels. All of the shovels. And all of the iron ore actually. This ship is going nuts. What's happening here? Hello? Are you okay? Are you bugging out? Okay, no. Yeah, the ships sometimes have a mind of their own. So it's yeah, what's the... Oh, I can promote now. Yes. Awesome. Right, so I sacrificed enough wine for the gods that the gods were like, yo, we'll make your soldiers stronger. Because, sure. And, yeah. And then this will slowly go up, and then I can promote some more. So now, all of the new swordsmen, not the existing ones, sadly, but all of the new swordsmen that I get will be sergeants, and no longer just privates. Which is nice, which is very nice. Alright, more charcoal. I am building a lot of grain. Okay. And then I actually want the pig farm here now. And then a slaughter. I cannot build that there. Where is the... No. Stay here. The field. Where can I build a slaughterhouse? I can build it over here. Suboptimal. Can I build a grain farm here? I can build the... Sure, I'll build one here. Yeah, this is now very much like min-maxing space because I am running out of space a little bit. Does this work? Actually, let's not get the pig farm over. Get the pig farm over here. Nope. That's also a thing. Once you place a building, like, it might take up so much space that you cannot build other buildings close by anymore. Right? So only one of these two buildings has a spot, like has space here. Which is a little bit finicky. So, Let me build another stone cutter over here. And another wood cutter. Do I have one over here? No, let's build a wood. Alright, all of you come here. You're now normal settlers again, please. Because I need more normal settlers. Okay. Bunch more settlers here. That's nice. Can I build a larger tower over here? Yes. So a larger tower, larger building. So you have three sizes of military buildings. You have the guard tower, large guard tower. That's a very creative name. And then you have the castle, right? And there's two effects to these. One is, oh sorry, I just bumped my mic. One is the area that they claim, the territory that they claim is larger. But the other effect is they have more space for soldiers. So a small guard tower only has space for 2 archers and 1 melee dude. A large guard tower has space for 3 archers, I believe, and 3 melee dudes. You can see that with the 3 windows. And a castle has space for 4 archers, I believe, and 4 melee dudes. Right? And what this means is that if those buildings are fully stocked, it will take an enemy a lot longer to conquer it, because they have to fight through all of the inhabitants of a building before they can conquer it. Right, so guard tower has at maximum 3 people that need to be conquered or need to be defeated before you can claim the tower. Whereas a castle has, I don't know, like 7 or 8. I don't know the exact number. It might also be just 3 archers. I'm not too sure. But yeah, somewhere between 7 and 8, which is a lot more. Right, so it's a lot more defensible. And that's one of the bigger effects of having larger buildings. There is some iron over here, so let's grab that. Let me see if there's... Alright. Promotion. Awesome. Now I can have better archers. And you do have to go through all the levels evenly, so you cannot like get general swordsman while still having private archers and such. You need to get all 3 to sergeant, and then you need to, and then only then can you get all 3 to general. Oof. Well, this is taking longer than... Again, this is pretty slow paced. I might, for future streams, I might also want to check if it's possible to turn off the game music, so that I can play my own music over this. Because at some point, I mean, the music is not bad, right? And there are a handful of tracks, but at some point, it is repetitive. It is just the same thing over and over again. So that's another thing I want to be able to check. Because I cannot individually change the volume of the music, sadly. Right, there is no such thing as volume settings in this game. Doesn't exist. At least in the pure version. I don't know if the enhanced mod thing, the Settlers United, if that gives the option. Hopefully, maybe. Or if I have to go manipulate the folders and just move the file or rename the file that references the music so that the link breaks, and then just play my own music. I'll have to check how that works. Okay, I am running a bit low on people here. There was a huge pile, but a lot of them are now busy, and a lot of them have turned into soldiers as well. So I want to see if I can build another house somewhere. Here. Build another house here. And then I want to build another large house. Sure, over here. So it's just gonna give me a huge amount of dudes. Things like music getting improved. And controlling more, fixes a lot of bugs. That is very good to hear. That is very good to hear. Okay, yeah, then I'll definitely get that thing, and because this music is, the game is long, and at some point the music does get a bit repetitive, so that would be really awesome. Yeah, to be able to change the music or adapt the music. Because I can also imagine for anyone watching, at some point it's just the same thing over and over. And as nice as it is in the beginning because of nostalgia, at some point, not necessary. Okay, I am running really low on coal on that island, but not here. So let me move all of the coal over. Another thing I appreciate about this game, and that makes it very approachable, is the units. Right? It's just single units for everything. So it's not that like in many RTS games where you have units or so that are like, yeah, this unit costs 15 food and this other unit costs 45 or like 37 or so, and at some point you just, yeah, sure, these are all these numbers. Here it's just, everything is just one and you can see them. Like one basket of coal, one basket of iron ore, right? Take it to the smelter, gives you one iron bar, right? And then one iron bar, one basket of coal, take it to a smith, gives you one tool or one weapon, right? And then one log gives you one plank or one set of planks. And it's so approachable. In that sense, I really love it, right? And here, this is same thing. One bucket of water, one bag of flour gives you one loaf of bread, right? It's, I don't know. I really enjoy that. So that's okay, a lot of coal over here. Nice. And I guess that makes the whole moving goods all over the map a lot more intuitive, instead of being like, oh, okay, this thing represents, I don't know, 5 food, and I have to move 2.5 of these things over here because this thing costs, I don't know, 12 food or something. It's no, it's all just one, and you can see them on the map. You can just look. There's 4 fish over here, right? And there's one pile with 4 iron bars here, right? You can see that, and it's. I really like that. It's something you don't really get anymore. So that's really nice. What are they missing? They're missing stone. Oh. Oops, that explains a lot. So let me move some stone over there. I have more than enough stone on this place. There's some gold. Able to see everything and see the people working, or as it gets where it's needed. It's really satisfying. Yeah, true. It's also very satisfying. Yeah, you can literally watch your people just like pick up a log and move it to the sawmill, and then see the dude come out, saw the thing into planks, and put the planks down, and then take the planks to, I don't know, a building, and then the builders just hammering it into the it's just, yeah, it actually feels like things are getting done, and you can really watch the pieces all move, right? And that's a very special kind of charm. Definitely agree with that. Very, very haptic and not at all abstract. And I guess that's also what made this series so successful, because that's something you don't really see all that much. There are a handful of other games that tried something similar. Another one I've played is Knights and Merchants. That does something kind of similar. Or Stronghold kind of does that, but not really, right? Stronghold breaks the formula. It's like you get a woodcutter, for instance, cuts down a tree, takes it to his place, and then produces something like 4 or 5 planks, which is, yes, okay, you probably get more than just 1 plank from a log, but it feels off. It doesn't feel, it doesn't generate the same feeling just because the numbers are different. So that definitely makes a difference. Or like the cheese maker is like, oh, I milk a cow and then I produce 3 cheeses and then bring the 3 wheels of cheese to the granary. It's like, yeah, okay, but it's not as elegant as just having 1, 1, 1, 1, right? It's a different feeling, different mood, definitely. So I really appreciate that about this game. Yeah, none of this is getting built because I'm lacking stone. I did not realize. All right. So need more stone over. Do I have more stone cutters? Yeah, I have. Yeah. Stone is not a problem. Plus, I have the stone cutter down here. Yeah, okay. Stone is absolutely not a problem on this map right now. Let me put a woodcutter over here. And then I can, because this guy is about to run out of trees, or already ran out of trees. Yeah. More or less. Can you come over here? Clear this out. So I do have a second sawmill. More stone. Oh! Shin534. Thank you for following. Welcome to the guild. You'll join us for many adventures. Yeah, nice to have you along. And I do hope you like nostalgic games, because that's mainly what this channel is about. Reliving my childhood as a boomer, internet boomer, and then playing some old stuff that I grew up with. Let's see. Let me do this so that the gold just constantly gets moved out, and then I can get more gold bars, because that is important. Now I'm getting more and more soldiers. That is good. Look, I do have a pretty large army here. It's nice. Stuff is getting built. Nice. Do I have the tools? Yes, scythe. I have a second scythe. I have axes here. Not bad. Yeah, looking okay actually. I can actually place, because I have another fishing rod, I can place another fisherman's up here just to make use of it, just to get more food production underway. Right, this 80%, very nice. I can almost fully upgrade those people. Well, not fully, but upgrade them all to the second level. Look at this. Taking a loaf of unbaked bread, and then smoke comes out, and then bread. Like, being able to watch your dudes work, and this is another big thing that other games just don't manage to capture. Right? I think it was a really good decision to have all of the work, or a large part of the work, take place outside. Right? Sure, the baker takes the water and the flour indoors and then makes a loaf of bread, but it's unbaked, and then comes out with that unbaked loaf of bread, and then you can see it being baked, right? Or here, like, takes the pig to go in, and then you can hear the pig squeal, and then comes out with a ham and such. Or the smelting, especially, right? That the whole thing happens outside here, or the log cutting. It was a really good decision to do that, I think. And again, a lot of other games don't capture that, I think. For example, Stronghold, right? Stronghold has a lot of... It feels much more mechanical. And a lot of things are more hidden indoors, and doesn't generate the same feeling. Even though it kind of tries to emulate it, maybe. Well, I guess I'm attacking now. I do have a large army, so it should be fine. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Yeah, this is going okay. Trying to build a small residence there, ha ha ha. Okay. And now these people are just sitting here, taking fire. Which is... Uh-oh. Whoa, this is a big group. I did not realize... Huh. Let's hope for the best. Whoa, this is bloody. But it looks like I'm winning. Yeah, no, I think I'm winning. And if that was more or less the entire army, then I'm good to go. Let me build a, where is it? Healer's quarters. Alright, people. Yeah, no, this is okay. This is fine. Now I don't need those 2 archers up here. Look at this, they take so much time. Yay! Awesome. Alright. Now I can build a stonecutter over here again to start getting more stone. Oof. Alright, put 2 archers on here though. And if I'd known that I can effectively just store all the gold here without needing to ship it. Because a storage area has limited storage. It can only store 6 piles, if I'm not mistaken. 6 piles of goods. And if you store more than one type of good in there, every type requires its own pile no matter how many there are. So if you have 1 bread in there, that takes up an entire pile. Because, right? So you can store at most 6 piles of gold, like so. And then that's it, and then you need to build a new storage area. The trick, of course, is you can then tear down the old storage area and the gold will still stay there. On the floor or on the ground, but that's finicky and takes up resources and takes up space and All right, the stonecutter here is done. The stonecutter there is done. That is good to see. Woodcutter cannot find any more resources. Right, then come here. Gold has been found, yeah. Okay, gold woodcutter cannot find, yeah. Okay. Then get rid of this. And we build one. We're here for these. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Where is your area? No. Cut this. Yeah, Coal. Alright, sure, why not? Always use more. Do this. Okay. We're under attack, yeah, okay, I know. Capture building. Okay, that's all the message. Alright, where was I? There a stonecutter here? Yes, awesome. So now I'm getting some stone on this island on its own again without constantly needing to ship it over, which is a relief. But I have more than enough stone on here anyway, so I can ship some over and speed things up. Right, I have so much wine, I can build a second small temple and speed things up a little. This is also another thing. It's all about efficiency or just speeding things up. So you just build multiples of a lot of these buildings and then but you need the space and you need the need to make sure that the resource chains actually work out. Yeah. Yeah, all of these need stone. Okay. But at least my food production is underway. That is important. That is very important. So the pig farm is here, the slaughterhouse is here, everything is working out so far. Awesome. And the residence is done. Nice. So I'm getting more people. Good to see. These three dudes are not gonna do much. I'll move them down here. Healer's hut. Yeah. More stone. Awesome. How long have I been going? 3 hours. I think I am going to finish this map. This is taking a fair bit longer than I thought it would. I mean, I'm enjoying myself. Don't get me wrong. This is an amazing nostalgia trip, and even after all this time, this game is still enjoyable, right? I think it's also taking so long because I'm still getting back into it, and I don't quite know. Like I'm still getting back into efficiency and actually building up my economy and such. So I do hope that future maps, future scenarios will go faster, or will, depends, right? They'll also be more difficult, so I might have to do more, but that I won't just sit here for several hours just slowly building up my economy. That's the hope. So I am definitely going to continue this. Because I'm having a lot of fun. That is a good point, actually. I can try. Let me build a second transport ship. Being attacked. Oh hey, I'm being attacked. I can try that. I don't think that's going to do much. Simply because then their dudes are just going to run there, but might be able to take away key resources or some, like, if there's a whole huge gold pile somewhere. And I can just take the one tower necessary to capture all the gold, for instance. I think, yeah, that could be pretty funny. But I was under attack. That was not cool. That was not cool at all. Let's see. Okay, this is taking a bit longer, right? The promotion from what is it? Like sergeant to general. I'm low on coal again. how much bread do I have? Inland. A lot. I can actually ship some bread over. Bread and some ham. Oh, hey. Whoops, where am I? There. Oh, no, move here as well. Oh, okay, that was a priest. Oh no, he cast a conversion. Oh, that is rough. That is really rough. Depends, right? Say if they defend their front lines, when you can take 2 towers and destroy buildings and other mines and stuff for food wood production. Yeah. Yeah, true. Like, take out key production centers or cut a hole in them so that the villagers can't cross. Right? And then cut the supply lines off. That does sound like something that could work. Okay, I like having this many archers. This is not bad. Okay, all of these need a pickaxe. I don't have a pickaxe. Okay, you need to build... Oh no, just build like 3 or something. And then move some iron ore and some more coal over. Alright. Yeah, pickaxe. Can't find any trees. Yes, indeed. Alright, get rid of this. And this dude. Probably the same. Well, I can take care of this here. Transport ship is done. Okay. So let me move them over here. I don't think it's necessary on this map actually. Yeah, I know that's because it's an enemy territory. You can cut trees over here. Oh. Oh no, I'm being attacked again. Whoa. Good thing I have a second tower. This is not going well. I apparently lost my entire army. And I'm gonna lose this section. Which is okay. Because there's nothing important here. It's just a woodcutter and such. I didn't build any industry. It's just... yeah. Okay, I just need more coal. More coal. So let me up volume of coal being sent over. Alright, pickaxes. 3 pickaxes. Pickaxe. Alright. Let's see. Ooh, I like this. This ship is very full. A lot of stuff being carried over. I like it a lot. Seriously, relax. Oh my god, that ship. Oh, that's driving me nuts. They did not take this tower yet, but they're going to right now. Okay. Or? No? They're not? The AI confuses me sometimes. But okay. Oh, now. Okay, now I see. Like, why do they start out as generals? This is kind of unfair, actually. Yeah, I know. You're attacking. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Fine. Can I get a replacement stonecutter? Yes, I can. Awesome. Oh, I have this little bit because of the pioneers. And Blue would have to build a tower here or something to take over this. Okay. Nice. Alright. So at least I can still access this stone. More residences? Question. Yes, let me build. Oops, build. Because I need more dudes. I just lost a whole bunch to, oops, soldiers. So this farm is not very efficient. If I can't make it. Ah, see, with 2 temples, this is going up much faster. Alright, nice. Soon I will have generals as well. Feels good. I can actually make a second charcoal hut. Create even more coal. Alright, so that I can I can also actually start shipping over some iron ore. Look at this. Ah, this looks so cool. Having a whole bunch of coal here. Do you use the old game to play Cersei? Do you have the history edition? This is the edition from Great Old Games, GOG, GOG.com. So this is, it's the Ultimate Edition, which has all of the expansion packs and everything, and GOG essentially did whatever their magic is to make this game work on modern systems. Yeah. So I would not know how to make the actual old game work on Windows 10. That would probably require a lot of extra programs and work and settings and such. So yeah, I took the easy way out essentially. It still has a handful of problems. Like, I need to run this through a different program to get to have it windowed, because the normal version of the program, even from GOG, is just, it's the old aspect ratio, 3:4 aspect ratio, yes, but it's still full screen and you cannot alt tab. It's literally impossible to alt tab. You cannot click out of it or do anything. So I would not be able to operate OBS. Supports the Settlers GOG version. The Settlers 4 sadly only history edition. Ah, okay. Well, at least it does the GOG edition of this game. So that's something, right? So I can use that. I also have the GOG edition of Settlers 4. But maybe that game will be a bit stabler and slightly more modern than this one, right? Um, but yeah, they had a pack. I think it was the whole, not the whole collection, but it also had 2 in there, and maybe a bunch of other like management, older management games and such. So I just bought the whole pack for cheap. Like GOG likes to do packs for cheap every now and then, right? Sales. So so I just got the whole thing for nostalgia's sake. Yeah, so that's what I have. All right. This is slowly getting somewhere. Yeah. A lot of coal here now. Okay, it seems like this is full. It can literally take no more. Okay, so it can store six stacks of something here anyway. Okay. So it looks like what do I build? Do I build storage areas now? Or I guess I have space for storage areas. I have space for 1. Now I need to make sure that I do not store anything other than gold bars. And I should keep this up here so that this stays here. More gold bars. I could actually build a second gold smelter if I have the space. I do actually have some space. Nice. Just to get a bit more gold. A gold is very slow in how it makes your soldiers stronger. The fastest way is still promotions like that. Wow, all of this coal now. Yeah, I think after producing bread, my coal mines here are doing their job now. So that's good to see. There's iron ore here as well. Nice. Yes. Okay, yeah, looks good. Cannot find any more trees. Yeah, looks like it. But I can't put another stone cutter over here just to get rid of this. All right. This is getting full. I want to try and see if I really can't move things over. If this doesn't work, if the ship doesn't actually... What is that? Who got killed? What is this? Is this a tower? Oh, it's a residence. It's okay. No, they're just not carrying stuff over. I may actually have to get a shipbuilder. Shipyard. Build a trade ship on this island. Which is inefficient. Actually, can I use ships to spy? Can I send a ship over here to look at what's happening? I never thought of that possibility, but you cannot attack ships, but they are units, so they should be able to see what's happening. Let's never thought of that. Okay. Can't archers attack ships? I've never seen that happen. I guess we'll find out. I don't know if you can attack ships. I really I have no idea. But it doesn't look like there are any archers back here anyway. So that's good. Also, it doesn't look like there really are any extra soldiers. Let me just sail around a bit and check. Okay, yeah, I've never seen it happen in 3. And I mean the AI sorry. The AI doesn't really build transport ships and such, so I never had a chance to try it out myself. But I don't think I'm fairly positive it's not possible to harm ships in any way. Alright, let's see if I can't just wipe out the yellow dude. Not have to worry about the southern border here. Ooh. Alright. This I need a pickaxe. I forgot that this dude was here. I don't need this dude. That's okay. Oh, there's still something of an army. Not a lot. So, looks like it's okay. Yeah, looks manageable. Yeah. Especially since I now have some generals as well. So it looks manageable. Okay, I can put 2 archers on here and move these archers off. Okay. Oops, what happened? There. I think that was it. I think that was their entire army. So, let me... Okay, this dude still underway. Okay, new gold smelter now. Okay, things are moving again. Yeah, okay, that was it. So I can just wipe out yellow. All right, nice. So I don't have to worry about this anymore. And oh, look at this gold. And wow. All of this flour and all of this wood and all of this coal. Oh, this is nice. This is very nice. Look at all this. Conquering it, all this is really gonna help. So many weapons. Oh my god. So many weapons. Holy. Yeah, no, conquering this dude is necessary. Definitely necessary. Let me grab those weapons for you. You don't have people to take them, so let me take them off your hands. Okay. So move back to here. All right. This is amazing. Wow. Yeah, look at this huge stash of weapons. Ah, this is so good. Oops. Then I don't need these archers here anymore. Alright. Ah, the mouse is a little bit funky. But look at this plunder. This is good. Yeah, you can actually. So they do shoot attackers, and they act as extra fodder to hold off people trying to capture the building. They're not very effective because they will then stand in the doorway and shoot while melee people will just wail on them. But at the very least, it buys you some time. Right. Oh, this is... Wow. So much. Such a huge haul. This is crazy. Yeah, look at all these weapons. Alright, let me build a large residence. If I can. Yes. Right here. Then I get more dudes again. And then... Wow, all of this. Okay. Build a trade ship. Alright, there's one more tower, and then that's it. Yellow is gone. Yeah. So this is a... And that's also another thing. If you conquer territory, you gain all the resources that are in that territory. Right? So you get huge hauls like this. Like all of this coal, all of this iron, all of these weapons that were all cleared out. Look at this. This was a huge stockpile somewhere up here, and it's all been cleared out now. All of these people here grabbing weapons. So that's just another aspect. Oh no, there's one more tower apparently. Yeah, one last tower back here. I get all this bread, I get all this flour, I get all this coal, I get... Yeah, this is cool. So much wood. Alright. And now these people will slowly, bit by bit, dissolve into ghosts or such, because they don't have friendly territory anymore. Is that a priest? Can I murder the priest? Or I don't know. Does that work? Apparently not. Ah well. Okay, move him up to the healer's hut. And now you can just watch these people dissolve over time. I don't know, there is a certain joy in this, and this is just funny at some point. Alright, enough of that. Get all these people here to get them healed up. Wow, and look at this, I have a lot of people here now, a lot of soldiers. Okay, that was very good. This was a good. And all these carriers are just doing their job right now. It's like once you conquer territory like this, you can afford not to care about your economy for a little while because you have like a half-finished economy basically just lying there, and it's all just redistributing the resources back to where you need them. So that's always nice. Okay. I do want that large residence finished at some point. Yeah, it's slowly getting there. Okay, not a problem. Healer? Is there a healer? Yeah, okay. Building under attack. Captured buildings, etc, etc. Alright. None of them are super hurt. So let's take them here. And hopefully end the game. Or, yeah, end this scenario at least. Okay, this dude is building the ship. Oh man, they had to bring all of the wheat from down here all the way to the opposite end of the map. Dang, these dudes are working hard. They don't even get paid. But okay, I have a sizable army of quite a few generals, sergeants and generals. I can almost get almost there with the last upgrade for Bowman. Okay. Right. Oh wait. Yeah, the strength is now 65% because of all the gold I just got. Wow, this looks impressive somehow. This is a lot of coal. And you can look at it and see, wow, this is a lot of coal. It actually means something. Like just at a glance you can tell. A lot of piles. It's like you can actually count the piles almost. 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 piles of gold, more or less. That's makes you feel way more into it. Alright. Just promoted all the bowmen. Alright, let's go. Hope for the best. Let me just save. Trade ship is done. Please do your route. Maybe. I'll have to see if it does anything. But not as important right now. This is more important. Ooh, this is still quite a few people back here. I don't know, move forward. Support your dudes. Okay. Okay, it's getting a bit loud. The AI doesn't have a lot of archers, which is good for me. right? Because archers do add a lot to combat. Right, you have the swordsman up front being the shield. You have spearmen further back, being a second line. And then you have a huge pile of archers here, just decimating the enemy army. See, now the archer was there defending the tower, but was standing in melee, essentially. Let me put 2 archers on here for now. Right. And yeah, this tower has a lot more dudes on it, so it'll take longer to conquer it because I have to go through all of these people in it one by one. Which is effectively what having more people in a tower does if it's under attack. But it looks like I'm winning. Right. Nice. Nice. Yeah, it looks like I can just... And I have more people over here again. Slightly. Couple. There's space for a second weapons. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it looks like I wiped out their army, but I've basically won. It's just about cleaning up. It's just about... It's about conquering all the remaining towers, and then all this territory is mine. But oh no, there's a couple more dudes there. Okay. Yeah, move over here, please. Right. I want to know where their weapons are, because if I can take those away, then blue cannot train any more soldiers. So the weaponsmith is here. So if I can take these 2 towers, maybe then the weaponsmith will disappear, and then that will help me with controlling this area. Yeah, come on. Now these archers are doing work. Yeah, okay, good. Move here. Yeah, okay. Ah, there's the barracks, okay. And there's gold. So, that is useful to have. Or useful to take away. Yeah, let me take this tower. Man, they were just given all of this. It's like, yeah, we will give you all of this gold here. Because the AI needs to cheat. Like, this game is so old, the AI is so bad. Oh crap, I'm out of melee dudes. What? Oh, okay. Let me just fill all the towers with archers. But I'm out of melee dudes. That means I cannot conquer anything right now. That's unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. Okay, there's a couple more swordsmen here. I need more swordsmen. Where do I control? Here? And goods, please create slightly fewer bows and slightly fewer spears. I need more swords. Destroy the towers and use those melees to conquer. Actually, yes. Yes. Wait, can I take out the melees once? Can I do that? Is that possible? No, at least one melee. Oh no, it works. I did not know that was a thing. I thought there must always be at least one melee dude inside. Huh. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. Okay. Good to know. One unit of any kind. Yeah, looks like it. Oh, there's a spearman in here. That's why it... Spearman. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so the tower is just easier to take over the tower now because you only have archers defending it, but yeah, I need the melee dudes in here. Are there any towers I can destroy? I probably don't need all of these towers. This is such a cluster. Can I take one of them out? Like destroy this? Yeah, I can destroy that one. Alright, now I have a couple more melee. So let me take over this tower because this is the most heavily defended right now. Do I? Let me save and try if I actually need none of the towers. If I lose territory, if I don't lose the territory because there's no one else to claim it. Yes, good point. Right, yeah, there is no one else here who could take away my territory. So I don't need any of these towers. Ah! Whole bunch of extra soldiers, nice. Awesome. Okay, for now that's okay. Gathering them all is now going to be one here. Here. Some of these were generals. Dang. That's a waste. I can just sit in towers down here. Here. Now there's a couple towers here. Let me see. Yeah. I don't need this one actually because I have this one. Okay. Okay, good to know. And a couple more. So yeah, this should be enough now. This should be good enough. Once all of them get here. Look at this. All of them just crammed into here. Because there's nothing else for them to do anymore. Yeah, of course, now there's the Fog of War, but I don't care about the Fog of War. It doesn't affect the AI, like the settler AI. They will still do their jobs, no problem, even with the Fog of War. So that's... Yeah, this trade ship is useless. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Oh well. Not that important. I can put 2 of these down here just to get this moving while because that's also a nice thing. Once buildings are done and the production cycles and such pick up, you don't need to care about them as much anymore, so I can just plop down 2 storage areas and I know that they will be built and people will then come and fill them up with gold, and I don't have to care about all of that, right? That's all automatic. That just happens in the background while I take care of more pressing active matters. So it is also a nice thing. I know there's still a couple towers left, but it feels a little bit uneasy deleting all of the towers. That feels a little... But I have quite a few people here now. Alright, grab these. There's only a handful of towers left anyway. Okay. So yeah, this should be... This is the most fortified thing right there. Has a couple of people around it. All of them, you could kill him 10 times. With all of the people in the towers, you mean? I mean, these are just recruits in here. So they don't do much. Or they're not very strong against... Or not recruits. Yeah, against the private. Against the... Oh, with all the troops I already had. Yeah. There, this is quite a large troop. This is one tower that's standing in my way. But I like how these guys are just not caring and just taking other towers as they go. I probably am. I probably am overestimating the ability because I'm not used to this anymore. And back when I played this game, I wasn't very good at it. Because that was like 20 years ago when I played it. And I was a lot younger back then. So I'm still trying to get used to the numbers, essentially, right? And that includes getting used to military numbers, like how many soldiers do I need? How many soldiers are defending a tower and so on. Yeah, but I probably am overestimating the AI right now. I'll probably split these. to get more done faster. Thing here, yeah. Right. Almost done, I think. There might be one or two more back here. Yeah, there's one here. That looks like it might be the last one. Yeah, that's the last one. Okay. So after this, the scenario is finally won. After a grueling, like 3 hours of this, where I'm relearning the game from my childhood days. Ta-da! Oof. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Let's get out of this map. And
Eat, my friends, and drink. Drink to the defeat of Horus and Chi-Yu.
What of your diet?
Well, not counting this little get-together.
The rest of you, be gone. Jupiter, you'll have lettuce for your next celebration. Until then, lead your people.
Roman pirates under a strong leader named Flavius live on an island to the north.
okay. I'm not gonna do this scenario. Yeah. That was actually a lot of fun. It dragged a bit. I had to relearn some things, get used to the game again. But overall that was nice. I think that was I enjoyed that quite a bit. And I hope it was interesting for you guys as well. Yeah. That was definitely a blast from the past. Definitely like something from, yeah, a big nostalgia trip. Just something I definitely want to continue though. So now that I've started this, I do want to continue with the game, play some of the other things, even just to see what it's like, because as a kid I didn't get very far. Like I said, I only got to maybe the third or fourth mission in the Roman campaign, and that's it. That's all I ever did. So yeah. I do want to experience more of the game this time around, and I do hope that I'm getting better at the game and understanding it a lot better than when I was a little kid. Or not a little kid. When I was 20 years younger. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as well and are looking forward to more. I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow, but I will definitely be streaming on Tuesday when I have Talk Tuesday again. The topic for Talk Tuesday is when I have just a discussion about various topics, and the topic for next week is going to be linguistics again. Specifically, why is English so weird? That's the question to pose, and then continue. And yeah, other than that, I will see, like, most of my streams right now are pretty guerrilla, pretty unscheduled, because it's pretty hectic. Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for everyone who came. Thanks again to Bernard as well for the raid. And we are going to raid someone. We are going to raid, let's see. That's nice. I'm glad. I'm glad that it was enjoyable. That's very good. we are going to, let me just check that the stream isn't ending or anything. 1 hour 45. Yeah, looks okay. Looks okay. We are going to raid Petri Coral. Petri Coral is something of a chaotic gremlin, but very kind, a very kind soul, a very good bean, as you would say. So, do say hi to her for me. Petri, let me see that I spell this correctly. Petri Coral, yes. And I don't have a raid message yet, just, I don't know, raiding party or something. Thank you for sticking around. I hope to see you again on my next stream. If not tomorrow, then definitely on Tuesday. And yeah, have a nice rest of the weekend. Yeah, exactly. A nice rest of the weekend, a good start into the next week, and I'll hope to see you again soon. Bye.